This is the first Security Council meeting since developments in Libya that the UN say may be a breakthrough. A fragile ceasefire is now in place, and at talks in Tunis we've seen the beginnings of a peace deal that's supposed to lead to elections in about a year's time.
I am optimistic about the way forward in Libya, yet clear-eyed about the many challenges that lie ahead. 10 years of war cannot be solved in 1 week of political talks, but we hear more now the language of peace rather than the language of war. For the sake of Libya, 75 Libyans came together in Tunis last week in a good faith effort to start the process of healing their nation's wounds.
But a researcher from the well-respected International Crisis Group, who's followed developments in Libya during its last decade of conflict, says the very many challenges ahead should not be underestimated.
I'm heartened by the fact that now we're not seeing open conflict in Libya, but I'm not entirely optimistic that we've seen the end of this devastating destruction or self-destruction of the country by the hands of the Libyans themselves. It's too early to say that whether the country will come out of this enormous economic recession that it has suffered, whether they'll be able to go beyond the ideological divides that still cut through the country.
The problems are among the Libyans. There's been no agreement on a new prime minister or a unified presidency council as proposed by the UN. The country remains divided. The prime minister in Tripoli, Fayez al-Sarraj, has indicated he's prepared to stand down. In Benghazi, General Khalifa Haftar has made no such pledge. And there's the big issue of foreign involvement. Under the ceasefire deal, all non-Libyan forces are supposed to leave the country by early next year. Few are hopeful that will be achieved. Under the deal that's been done, the UN is supposed to provide monitors to be deployed in Libya to observe the ceasefire. That will need a UN Security Council agreement. Negotiations are likely to be difficult. One member of the Council, a permanent member, Russia, has nationals in Libya working for Wagner, what many consider a mercenary company that's been fighting on the side of General Haftar. James Bays, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations.